If you discovered you're autistic later in life, chances are you've been unconsciously masking for decades. And if that's you, it may not be immediately obvious why unmasking is important. Especially if you've done very well masking. You have this fantastic facade. It's successful, it's socially competent, it works really, really well in a lot of different situations. You've lent on this mask and it's served you really well. That was definitely the case for me and my dreadlocks. My mask was extremely sophisticated and very successful, but it still had to go. There is a cost to masking, and maybe you've got an inkling of this already, but the true cost is a lot more than you think, for reasons that are not immediately obvious. But after this video, hopefully it will all make sense. Hi everyone, Paul Micallef here from Autism from the Inside. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So someone asked me a very good question the other day on one of my webinars. Do you mask during your YouTube videos? Very good question. What do you think? I mean, in one sense, the answer is obvious. Yes, of course, we all do. You're clearly seeing one side of me through these videos, or at the very least, a very limited view of who I am as a person. I don't record videos when I'm crying or overwhelmed or just plain not coping, not least because I'm not a particularly good communicator in those situations. So what does masking even mean? Well, the most helpful question I've found to ask myself is, am I being authentic? I can still be an authentic version of myself without showing my whole self. In fact, it's literally impossible to show my whole self. I am an immensely complex human being with dense thoughts and feelings and emotions and desires and motivations and experiences and past personal history and my own view of myself and psychology and all of these other immensely complicated things that go into the whole of a human being. Is it even possible for me to be aware of everything that I am in my whole self? Well, probably not. Even though I spend all of my time with myself for my entire life, I still don't know everything about myself. So how could I possibly share myself completely with someone else, let alone on a YouTube video? So that's why we have personas, right? I have a simplified version of myself that I share with the world. So are you seeing a mask or are you seeing the real me? The truth is you're seeing a glimpse of the real me, not the whole thing. I call that being authentic, and I think it's healthy to have a socially appropriate filter where I get to choose which parts of me I share at any given time. Masking is something quite different. Masking isn't just a socially appropriate filter, it's putting up a barrier between my true self and the outside world. It's deliberately appearing to be different than I naturally am. For example, I might be deliberately talkative and outgoing, even though I don't feel like it. The mask takes energy to create, and it feels like a relief when I can finally put it down, finally drop it, finally be myself again. A mask can also be a denial of who I am. If there's a part of me that I feel is unacceptable, it's tempting to try and hide it, to keep it in the closet and put it with all my other skeletons that no one's allowed to see, like a secret that's not allowed to exist. There's a big difference between a side of me that I sometimes let you see and don't always show, and a part of me that I keep permanently hidden. Having different sides is normal and healthy. There are lots of sides to me that most people on YouTube aren't ever going to see. There are some sides of me that only my wife sees, or only my family, or only my friends, or only certain friends, potentially. Ideally, there would be a time and a place for me to express and to be everything that I am. All of the sides that make up this immensely complex human being, they all need some form of expression at one time or another with one person or another. I'm not happy all the time, I'm happy sometimes. I'm not excited all the time, I'm excited sometimes. I'm not silly all the time, I'm silly sometimes. I'm not asking deep philosophical existential questions all the time, but I do that sometimes, right? With the right people. As long as there is at least one place in my life where I can be each of these things, that's natural and healthy, in my opinion anyway. In contrast, if part of me is locked away forever, I never let it out, I never acknowledge it, it becomes a secret so shameful that I can't even acknowledge that it exists, that's the effect of long-term masking, even unconscious long-term masking. It's pretending to be social all your life. It's pretending to be straight all your life. It's pretending to be normal all your life. Whatever that means, whatever is expected, whatever facade you're putting on or part of yourself you're hiding away forever because you feel like it's inappropriate. If you're doing that on a long-term basis, the message is there is something wrong with me that I cannot let people see. And if you've been masking for a long time, decades, for example, then the question becomes, well, who am I without the mask? This is me, is it not? This is the me that I have been for decades. Who am I without the mask? This mask that I've created, this personality that I've created, who would I be without it? So am I masking in these videos? Well, no, not consciously, at least. Maybe there is part of me that I haven't fully accepted yet. And at the same time, the image that I choose to project is heavily filtered, heavily based on what I think other people will think and what I think will be acceptable. I mean, I have a video background that I think is acceptable. I use lights and I have a microphone and I have a camera and I try and even look at the camera sometimes if I'm feeling good, because these are the types of things that I think will help me communicate. I mean, there are so many things that I do every day that are based on how other people around me are likely to react to me. So is that masking? Or is that just part and parcel of social communication existing in a world with other human beings? How could I communicate at all if I didn't consider how the other person is likely to respond, likely to hear or not hear or understand or misunderstand my message? So like I said, masking is not filtering yourself so that you can conform or fit in. It's pretending to be an inauthentic version of yourself, either by actively pretending or passively concealing something very important. Both of these forms of masking send exactly the same message. I am not okay as I am. I'm not acceptable, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy of connection or belonging as I am. And ironically, when we wear the mask, any acceptance or love or belonging cannot be truly received because it's attributed to the mask instead. The mask is acceptable, but if they saw the real me, I would be rejected in an instant. And that's why unmasking is so important. It's about self-acceptance. It's about showing up in the world as an authentic version of your true self. Yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, it opens us up to the possibility of rejection, but it also opens us up to the possibility of acceptance, true acceptance of your true self. And that's why unmasking and self-acceptance is so important, especially for autistic people. When equated to self-acceptance, hopefully you can see that unmasking is not an easy process or a simple process or a quick process, but it is important, and a supportive community can often help. So if you don't know any other autistic people in your life, I would strongly recommend reaching out to find some, maybe joining our online social group or checking out one of my other videos on the process of unmasking. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this valuable. I wish you all the best in your journey of unmasking and self-acceptance. If you have any tips you'd like to share on what has helped you to unmask and develop more self-acceptance, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.